Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Late Breakfast. I'm First Class Regg. Taurian B will be joining us momentarily, but we got some beautiful faces here. We got Funny Julius.
Hi.
We got that Aviles guy.
Yeah.
We got Robbie Digital.
You know what it is.
And we got Mr. First Class C. LA is here.
How you doing, brother?
So we're going to talk about a few things today. One thing that I know I want to talk about is the idea of artists owning their masters and how important it is, because we've seen like the tweets from Kanye, that all the rambling that he's done. I've checked out a Kanye a long time ago.
Welcome to the club.
He's still a topic. He's one of the biggest rappers on the planet. So it's hard not to tune in and be in tune when he says some shit. But right now, his latest stream of conscious of rants has been around artists owning their masters, about slave deals, amongst other things. So like, I really want to know what you guys think about that. Who wants to kick us off?
First off, how does the contracts at Good Music look?
So you know what's funny about that? When he was tweeting all of that shit, Big Sean tweeted him. I don't know if you guys saw that. He was like, "Yo, start." He was like, "Start with mine. Like, look for my deal or something like that." I don't know if he paid. I don't know if he deleted it or whatnot. I meant to share it with the group chat, but I do want to know how Good Music shit looks. You're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, how does okay? I understand. I think everybody is in agreement where, well, most people are in agreement with the artist saying, okay, you know, let's reconstruct our my contract, or let's talk. You know, get me out my contract. I understand. You know, you were taken advantage of, but you can't say, hey, that's not fair when you're doing the same thing. It's not is completely insane to even think about that and start with that when you have a label your own self. Like, don't go start trouble in Europe when your America is in trouble. So how does the Good Music contracts look? Let's start with that. That's number one. And number two, okay, I get the message and everything, but you're really going on about it the wrong way. If you are in a legal battle, what you don't, just any kind of battle, what you don't do is show your hand. Why are you showing your contract agreements? Why are you showing your lawyer strategy? It's completely weird. It's completely stupid to me to show your what you have for the offense. It's really, really dumb. I get what you're saying, Kanye. Yes.
You think? Wait. So you think it was stupid for him to put up his contract?
No. Excuse me, not the contract. I think it was
Conversation with the lawyer.
The lawyer
Gotcha.
text.
Okay.
It was very, very stupid. Like, why are you? It's so dumb. Like, you don't show your hand in poker. That's something you just don't do. I get you what you're saying. Yes, you should, you know, be a free man, but check yourself and protect yourself.
Okay. Rob, what would you say?
I agree with Julius in parts. The problem is with artists. Some artists need the label to really get their stardom. There's a couple artists like that. You don't when I feel like sometimes we forget that the label do take risks on artists and they wind up flopping. And then they're the responsibility of the label. Case in point, Beans yelled for years that Rockefeller was robbing him after it was over. Dan came back and said, "Nigga, we paid all your legal fees. When you had to go to court, when you was running around doing dumb shit, we had to handle that shit."
At the height of your career.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes we forget that. Kanye is in a very artist. The problem is, I think, it's kind of like what's the movie with Nick Cannon and Christina Milian?
Love Don't Lie.
Oh.
So you were trash and you had potential. 2 weeks later, I made you hot, and now everybody likes you, and now you're forgetting who made you hot. That's what kind of happens with artists sometimes.
That don't apply for Kanye though.
That
It
doesn't
don't,
apply
it
at
doesn't
all.
apply for
Here,
Kanye.
it kind of
But
does.
it- but
Kanye
it-
was
but-
all right. Look,
But to that point, to what Danny may be saying, Kanye had a buzz, but we also, now that we've watched the documentary about nasty ass Russell Simmons, we heard about all the deals that were being shot for Kanye West and how niggas wasn't really trying to take him for some crazy shit.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Kanye was completely a risk for Rockefeller at the time, and for the general time we were in hip hop, he was going up against. He was in G Unit era coming out on some "I'm not a tough guy" shit. Let's talk about being educated. Let's talk about Black history. Let's talk about religion. Like Kanye was. There was nothing about Kanye that was a sure thing when that was the investment going out, and that's why Jay initially turned it down. In his mind, nobody wanted to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're not mistaken, Dame said if it flops, we'll just put Cameron on everything.
On everything, yeah.
So the reason why I don't think this applies for Kanye is for maybe 3 reasons. 4. The First Amendment, second one, the third one, and the fourth one. He renewed his contract 4 times.
Yeah.
So by the second renewal, what do you like pass? You're already past graduation, Yeah. So there's a point in time where you read up 3 different times. So that means you ignored or you didn't leverage yourself in a proper position. You had the opportunity more than once. So your first contract is probably your worst contract, right? But okay, you go into your second one. You've proven yourself. You've proven at this point he has the whole label in the palm of his hands. Like everybody just said, none of y'all motherfuckers believed me. Now I run this shit. I want this shit my way or the highway, or I go by myself, right?
When Kanye made Mercy and he said, I walk in Def Jam building like I'm the shit. Tell him give me 50 million or
I'ma quit. So
back then when he said that, I was like, yo, this nigga he can probably really do that.
Yes.
Who else is bringing bags to Def Jam like
exactly? So I'm not sure. So what was Mercy like? 2013?
13? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So by then if I'm not mistaken, there is like a renewal in 2013. If I look through all the
Wasn't
people,
Good Music part of the renewal?
I believe so. So he probably did get the 50 million for the label, right? Or the joint venture, because it is a joint venture. So what are we complaining about now? Like if you had 6 chances to get this right and you didn't fix it, like what are you complaining about now? You know what I'm saying? Like by the time I get to good music, I should own my masters.
Yeah, that's true. He's a seasoned.
You know what I'm saying?
Artist.
You're a seasoned artist. Yeah, come on.
No Kanye. I don't think any Kanye rant, and I see Kanye like I was a diehard Kanye fan. I have a Kanye West quote.
What?
I have a Kanye West quote tattoo on my arm.
It's not still? You was? It's not now?
No, I'm not. I've checked out.
Yeah.
I think it's mentally the safest thing to do.
Welcome to the club. I really hate that we're even talking about him right now.
But however, so what I was gonna say, I think nothing that Kanye does is not in service of self. So I think he has very great intentions, but it's all motivated by, getting himself further or getting himself to be in a.
It's the benefit for him. It's beneficial for himself, but other people will reap the benefits for him.
Exactly.
Which is his own version of the dentist system.
Which there's nothing wrong with, because you know your power. You know that
was really good.
You want to get shit right with yourself, and in turn, if you get shit right with yourself, you'll get shit right with a whole bunch of people. So that's just knowing your power and that's stepping into it. But the problem with Kanye is that all of it, I don't think it comes from a place where, how can I put this?
Not genuine.
It's not, no, okay, so I won't
You have to question it.
I won't say that it's not genuine, but I feel like when he does certain shit, it's just, we probably won't hear from this from like a month from now. And I honestly feel like Kanye didn't read his contract up until like a few days ago.
So when Julius asked the good music question, it was the same point that I was gonna make that you just said. If he's now realizing how shitty his own contract is, imagine when he opens the books and realize everybody else that he brought into this situation.
Yo, because I find it hard to believe that Kanye is in there signing off on Big Sean and all these people that he has the credit for. He's so big and colossal of an artist. He has people that just hands him shit, and he probably just signs it with, like, you know.
Kanye strikes me as a person who looks at a person that says, "Yo, I have good faith that you're doing the right thing."
Yeah.
And I also believe John Monopoly has something to do with that too. I don't feel like John Monopoly would let Kanye put himself in bad positions. I don't think so. Just judging by his management skills, how long he was with Ye from college dropout to graduation, I think it's also dependent on, like, you don't know what that artist is going to do. It's the same thing like when people were like, yo, you signed a 6-album deal. What the fuck is wrong with you? We didn't know that out of 6 albums in that Kanye West deal,
all 6 would be classics.
5 of them were going to be colossal. No one knew that.
No.
You can't judge that.
No.
What do you mean 5? Which other one wasn't colossal?
I really don't like Life of Pablo.
Oh, but it was
colossal.
It's colossal, it's colossal. Whether you like it or not,
whether you like it or not, you're being biased.
Okay. Life of Pablo is big, but I think it's bigger because of what he did with merch, what he did with
everything that's taking away from it. That's still a colossal album.
That into it, yes, but the music, the album is amazing.
Don't George Costanza hands us right now. Don't George Costanza hands us like that.
But so I don't want to focus on too much on Kanye, even though he's the one that made this topic so big. But
I wanted to jump in once we realized it came off of Kanye, and I think that's something we've been going forward for years, especially when you have artists like Joe Budden who have been very early on telling us the magic of going independent and understanding your worth as an artist wherever you're at. It's something even he's translated to his podcast now. I think a lot of artists, they go in not understanding what they can or can't bring to the table. Mm-hmm. I don't think they do the actual numbers on themselves. I think a lot of artists just want to create and just see a bag, especially coming from where a lot of us come from. I think a lot of times most beginning artists don't have the leverage to get that kind of understanding of their contract or anything, or understanding of, because they don't have the money to protect themselves. A lot of times artists have to wait till they're more established. They have money where they can hire lawyers that have their best interest in their heart, that are not coming from the label. And it's also making it so that they have to be more aware as time goes on. It's basically like expecting, I'm comparing it more to sports the way I see it. A lot of rookies, they have that max contract that they can get when they're a rookie. They have to show and prove, and then they're able to come out of that contract. I kind of feel like if more artists treated contracts and how they move around in the industry as like that, like, the average football career only lasts 2 seasons, right? Treat it like you got 2 seasons. Get in, get your worth. All right, cool. You prove that you're worth keeping around for longer. Now come back and renegotiate. Contracts are always able to be renegotiated when you're able to build leverage for yourself. And the bigger you get, the more.
That's where an artist union would be beneficial. Like,
it's just very hard because in order for it to be an artist union, there's gonna have to be a lot of transparency that a lot of artists aren't willing to give up. A lot of artists' image and who they built themselves to be.
Or record companies.
Artists I'm speaking of. Because in order for the artists, it starts bottom level, the way I'm saying it. In order for artists to get to that level, they're going to have a transparency with each other that I don't think a lot of artists are willing to have. For example, especially in hip hop, Wayne was saying for years, when he first wanted to get off Cash Money, he was reaching out to Juvenile. How did you get out the contract? You signed the same contracts I did. How did you get out of it? And Juvenile told him, you want the answer to my people, you have to pay me for that information. And that's why Wayne stood his ass on Cash Money longer. So there's a lot of things like you need transparency between artists. You have to have for it to work, I hate that he called these guys out. I think it was stupid for Kanye to call J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake out. But in order for that to really happen, all these artists do have to sit at the table. Look, this is what I'm actually making. This is what I actually brought to the table myself. This is how much is handling getting
that kind of transparency. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
And
J. Cole had that transparency moment. Well, his manager did. J. Cole's secret to owning his masters was never taking the advance. So after the first debut album, and what was the second one? Born Sinner, right? It was time for, ironically, J. Cole had like a 2-album deal. And he kept declining the advance. So when it was time to renegotiate, that's why I think in one of those freaking, I forgot he was putting out singles like packs, and in one of them
it was like those mixtape EPs.
Yours truly.
Yes,
yours truly. And there was one that he did the Lauryn Hill sample, and he was like, "Please
Number
don't
one.
assume."
That was the first one, I believe.
Yeah, in his verse, he talks about how he already recouped without the album coming out because he never took the advance and he did all his beats. So his budget was extremely low, and he saved Roc Nation little to no money. So just off of his pre-sales, he recouped. So technically,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So technically, bro, when it was time to renegotiate, like, yo, like, you don't want money from us, but we're making a shitload of money from you. We want you to stay. How can you stay for us?
Yeah.
Let me keep my masters from here on out. Fuck it. Fine. Fine. Don't take the loan.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take the loan. Like, I think, as crazy as it sounds, I talk to my guys who like to rap outside and all of this, and they want to deal in this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, are you paying attention to the landscape of what's going on right now? They were like, nah, not really. I'm like, yo, bro, think about it this way. It's like that advance that hip-hop has made it seem like they're giving you money like a signing bonus, like NFL. It's not a signing bonus, bro. It's a loan. And they was like, what you mean is a loan? I'm like, yo, bro, it's the same way if you go to Chase right now, with your great credit, you take out $100,000 and bet on yourself, and you pay back that bank. Nah.
You got to explain it to the block like they understand it. It's consignment.
Yes.
You got to come back. You got to come back.
When I told him, that's crazy that you said it. I say, yo, bro, just think about it this way. I front you consignment right now. You taking it? He was like, no, bro. Like, that is exactly what you're
exactly.
I like that. I like that.
That's always the mentality. That's why when you go back to, like, there's another conversation we're going to be having when you go back to certain old school, or rather like 90s era, when things really were starting to get interesting with hip hop contracts, and everybody was getting bigger contracts out the blue for the first time because they were seeing the money that hip hop was actually bringing in. Mm-hmm. Really, you see the people who are like, nah, we're gonna stick to this independent route. The downside, like the Master P's, you have all these people down south who were eating because they were going straight to consumer. And with everything going on in hip hop, for example, right now with United Masters buying TikTok, that's gonna take the whole music,
partnering,
not hip hop. Oh yeah, partnering. That's going to take music, period, to another level, because that's another form of direct to consumer that they're going to have. That's not DSPs. It's going to count for streams. These people are going to, and we hated it before, the amount of TikTok songs coming out now, it's going to be the return of the ringtone rap era with the amount of people going to be making TikTok songs.
So the way I view this whole, should the artists own their masters? I think eventually they should, because
what if it ain't worth shit?
Yeah, but that's for me to decide. So here's the thing: if the same way somebody accepts consignment, that's because they don't have no startup money. Like you're giving them a chance. You're technically betting on them. So at the same time, we we are more artist friendly because everybody here is somewhat a creative, or we're all creatives. So we stand on wanting to own our stuff. But think about it, take yourself out the creative shoes and think about the business platform, right? Let's say I help create something. Like say I thought of First Class Breakfast, but I'm not a hip hop historian like Taurian and Regg is, and I'm like, yo, I'll help you with this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And we agree that it's a 60-40 split. I provide the mics, I do the editing, I do this and the third, I do the social media pushing, I do the marketing. You guys just create. Now it blows up. Now you guys are now finally on your feet and you realize, hey, LaShawn, can we buy that 60 back? But I look at the back end and I look at my books like, well, technically, y'all never paid me back. Y'all never, out of all the time or the sweat equity I put in to create this show and help build this show, I don't feel like I made it back. And y'all now generating money. So, no.
Oh, you're talking about like Dame did with DD51 Studios.
I mean, that and everybody else, bro. Like, if for example, I'll make it even better. Say Julius looked at you and said, Rob, I think the way you love sneakers, we could create a show. Julius helps create this show. Julius do this for a while. Now you getting chicken off of it. But when I first started off, Julius then owns the show and you were a part of it because you're the face, right? Now
you see him smiling because I don't own shit with it. So yeah, I know
exactly. So, but just
written, directed, produced. It's only hosting me. It's only hosting me.
Julius is a villain.
So when it happens, go ahead.
So if you go to Julius and he's like, "Yo, bro, can I get the show back?" But Julius is seeing YouTube revenue from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would Julius give it up? I've done so much. Like, you've never paid me to edit. Well, I don't know the business, but let's hypothetically speak. Like,
oh no, you are potting now, my nigga. Go ahead, keep on.
So you never paid Julius to edit. The turnaround time is swift. This, that, and the third. All the things that when you're sleeping, he's doing. I'm not just gonna give that back for you because we're in business together. The business of it is no.
Notice their face, how their face is just changed up and out.
There is something.
Yo, this is like legit what they go through. I think.
Yeah.
This is something.
Because okay.
That's why Julius just keeps laughing.
Not to cut LA off, but yeah, I've gotten those questions from people like, yo, it's written, produced, directed by Julius. All you do is host. Like, so that means you're extendable.
But then you got to think about it this way, right? In business, there is something called being in the red. You know what I'm saying? It takes a very long time because.
Why you think I'm giving Julius all these goddamn sneakers? There's gonna be a compensation somehow. Not fuck around with him.
There comes a time where an artist strives to get out the red, but the more that they take advances, that's why I laugh when every time an artist brings up an advance in their raps. It's like you just took another loan on top of a loan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you didn't clear this loan, and I know you didn't take this advance to get you out the red for this one. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a fact that as if I had a label and I created something and I helped fund you, I'm not selling back until you can, one, clear the red, and two, I make enough that I'm okay with letting you go again.
Think about how much money an artist of Drake's caliber is saving.
No, think about an artist of Kanye's caliber of just production alone.
Right, but okay.
Why would I give you your master's back, bro? You're still in the red from college dropout.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying.
Fuck that, LA.
A lot of artists can learn from what Drake is doing because Drake, for the most part, is in-house. So when you look at that, he's only really paying 40. When it comes to mixing, mastering, all of that shit, it's all in-house. Now, I've read stories about Kanye and how much it takes, because he'll mix a record over 100 fucking times.
I read something the other day that he's still mixing all of the lights.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
heard he still updates it regularly.
Which
That is ridiculous, bro.
I mean, like a year after it came out, Wolves updated without Chance and with Chance like 3 times.
Yeah.
So so Kanye, for the caliber of music that he's trying to make, understand that it just takes a lot of money. I remember when he was making Late Registration and Sway was interviewing him, and he was like, I'm in the hole from Late Registration because they gave me money up front to do it, but I superseded that and I reached into my own pocket for it, and I'm in the hole for it. So that's why Kanye, like back then when I was a Kanye super fan, I used to understand his rants because I was like, well, this nigga really just wants his just due, and he really wants his appreciation, not because of the art, but he also wants you to know how hard he went to make it. And I was like, yo, and I get that. I understand that. But
then have you looked at his contract and saw his recording budget?
See, but that plays a big factor.
His recording budget is a life insurance policy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally
it's larger than some life insurance policies.
He passes that because the nigga.
Yeah, he passes that like maybe the first session.
He flies out to Hawaii. He flies all the creatives out to Hawaii. He mixes it over 100 times with different people.
So the business of it is just like I know Def Jam and even like it gets a bad rap, you know, for bad contracts and stuff like that. But Kanye, I understand a little bit much because yeah, you're gonna sell extremely well. You're gonna make classic music. Yeah, somewhat you keep the lights on in the building, but at the same time, like the light bulb you request is ridiculous, and we still gotta pay this light bill.
It's the wattage. It's not the light bulb.
It's the voltage. Yeah,
it's the wattage that you're asking for, bro. Like
that Con Edison comes knocking on our door religiously, like, yo, we're walling. So,
because I think it was my man Tunde. Yeah, I probably know Tunde. He worked on Graduation, and all the beats that he made, and some of the beats, from what I know, a lot of the music that he worked on didn't make it on Graduation, but he got paid. So imagine you're not even talking about the stuff that doesn't make the album, because you have to. You got to think about that.
I didn't think about
when we get an album, it's usually like a quarter of what's actually been created for the album.
Exactly.
That's why a lot of times we get lost tapes, we get fucking bonus tracks. That's why we get 6 different bonus tracks from depending where you're coming from.
Let's have the conversation now.
It's because it takes.
Good Fridays is an album. Good Fridays is an album.
Let's have the conversation. Let's have that conversation, because I did not realize that.
Bro,
I didn't realize all those songs that he made and those producers, those 1,000 producers, those 1,000 songwriters, they have songs, and I know for sure, The Life of Pablo definitely has a massive amount of songs that is not even.
It's about 19 songs.
Listen to how long we heard about him recording that album though, and he's still updating the ones he picked. Imagine the shit we have in
Kanye. You don't deserve your masters like that right now.
But
here's the thing. I disagree. All right, I'm gonna play devil's advocate right now because I'm tired of. I don't want to ever defend Kanye again in my life, and I haven't for years. Usually, even you see guys in the group chat when we talk about Kanye, I shut up because I've been off the Kanye boat since after Life of Pablo. I think Kanye does, for what Kanye has done over and over again, deserves his masters. However, it's like that the fucking Charlemagne said it. It's not what you fucking deserve. It's what you can negotiate. If he hasn't done that for himself, I'm not going to feel sorry for him, whether he deserves it or not. But yes, he does deserve it. Now, a closed mouth's not going to get fed. So he's finally speaking up. Hopefully this allows for the conversations, because then we saw that Jay sold his publishing back with whatever fucking deal Jay did all those years ago off the first 6 albums, right? That came up also.
Yeah, that was alleged.
I thought that was in the contract that
he what?
Jay sold his publishing or some shit. It was in the.
That sold Kanye's. That was
Yeah.
so stupid. I'm so mad that people paid attention to that shit. He didn't just sell his shit. What happened was
Mills was there too.
No, he sold
a Mill, Bleak, all of them, and all those Rockefeller artists.
It was Rockefeller. Like, so he made that sell, but the way they made it sound was that like
it was a one-off. It was a fantasy draft.
That he sold Kanye's.
Agreed. And my thing is, Kanye, that's some shit that Kanye, at the time of it happening, and you're an artist on a label, how do you not ask these fucking questions? Like, how do you not, as an artist, ask, all right, the head of my label, even if the head of my label is changing, let's say you're not selling it. Like, if I was an artist on Def Jam when Paul Rosenberg was going in or coming out just now, that's what I'm fucking asking is, how is this changing me? Who's coming in? Am I agreeing with this? What are my options? Do I have to stay here? What can I do to get out? And my thing, and you can't, I guess maybe because he's the creative mind, he doesn't think in these ways. And I kind of think we're seeing him thinking in these ways because he's around his wife and he's around her family. And obviously these are conversations that family has, is about business, and they really break shit down because Kanye seems to have more of an understanding of his worth since being with Kim, or whether I agree with his idea of his worth or not is another thing. But he has his idea of his worth, and he's finally fighting for his worth, which I can't be mad at. And the thing is, he has the leverage now. He has the money. He can do it. He can provide that leverage to work out of that contract. But I don't think he's going about it the right way.
So he does get his masters back, though. He gets them back in 2036.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me, what?
He gets
what?
He is supposed to get his masters back 20 years
and
after.
That's if he makes another 16 albums.
Yeah.
Wait.
I was produce, and he has to himself or produce an album a year up till that point in order for that to be an option.
16. He's on his contract.
His contract, right? That's what was one of the things was he has to create or produce. He has to himself as an artist or produce an album a year. I thought it was.
So what you're saying is
it's not an album a year.
So who's producing, North or Saint? Because that nigga's gonna get tired.
He's gonna have.
He
breakdowns.
could do EPs.
He's gonna have
because the gospel music counts, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? The gospel.
That's why I wish Tori was, because it was brought up. Hold on, let me double check.
I can imagine his daughter at her sweet 16 gifting her father his masters.
Which is, you know what's crazy though? Because
Dad, I got a present for you today.
I know it shouldn't be comparable, these two artists, but I remember, I think it was for their wedding anniversary or her birthday, Russell Wilson bought Ciara's masters from Sony. Straight up. So I am generally 1000% sure Kim and that conglomerate of that last name, and maybe Kanye or whatever he's making at Adidas, can offer them $1 billion.
Okay, but here's my problem, LA.
Def Jam, I don't think Def Jam would turn down $1 billion.
It's worth more than $1 billion. It's worth more than $1 billion. It's worth more.
But
so
I
have your legacy. I have every
time
that you ever made. I own. So that means my children's children is gonna eat off of your album. I'm not selling you a goddamn thing. Every time they do a fucking Blade Runner 2046 movie or In Space or In Time, guess what that soundtrack is? Fucking Stronger by Kanye West. I ain't seen you a goddamn thing. Nothing.
So I think as crazy as it sounds, Kanye has his publishing. So he will still eat off of the soundtracks. The masters he don't have. Kanye never complains about his publishing.
Kanye has his publishing because he's a producer, so that's the part that he has.
Right. So the movie soundtrack thing, Kanye is not gonna trip off of because he's gonna see that. It's the masters, it's the recording masters that he wants back, but as the business side, when this first started, I was like, yo, just give the man back his shit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like he's turning to the grandpa at the old family. Like, yo, just shut him up. Give him what he wants. Yeah. But on the business standpoint of it, I'm on being on both sides. Bro, like, I'm going to need at least $4 billion just for us to have this meeting. You feel me? You need to clear your cap. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe we can whatever's left once you clear your cap, we could then start talking. Cause he's in the red. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's treating Def Jam like the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Like he like as if Def Jam doesn't have a salary cap. You're maxed out, bro. Like, I can't give you anything more. You have 6 loans. You re-sign. It's not, at this point, it's not my fault, bro. It's not my fault. Like, it's literally not my fault. Like, you this is what you signed. I'm not saving you. That's just how I feel. 2036 is when he get his shit back.
2036, right. Bro.
So let me. I'm just getting in.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, your mic, bro.
You got feedback.
Yeah.
36, bro.
Feedback.
Yeah, you might have to plug out your mic. Plug it back in.
Literally 16 years from now.
Facts.
Yeah, that's why he owes 16 more.
How was that? Service, Reg, is that your service?
Yeah, it's better. It's better, Torian.
It's better now?
Yeah. Good.
Sound amazing.
16 years, bro.
Well, this one's ran before you continue. I just want to say this one's ran over, I think, an hour now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So I wanted to start wrapping it up, but I wanted Torian to share what he wanted to say.
Well, I just want to make sure. So we're talking about the topic of owning your masters, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So obviously I didn't hear what everybody had to say, so I might repeat some people. The fight that Kanye's fighting is very self-serving. And I think that's obvious to everyone. But at the same time, it's a good thing that he's doing because it probably will make a difference for a lot of artists. But at the same time, like Kanye of any artist gets like the gold standard because they never tell him. Only thing they told him no about was giving him his masters. But the thing is when you look at it, if Kanye would have asked for his masters the first time, they probably would have worked something out. But opposed to him doing that, every time he goes back, he just asks for more advance money. And we all know Kanye samples like crazy. So between the samples that Kanye has to get cleared, all of the things that Kanye requests to record an album, like he literally like will ask for some of the greatest like composers of all time. Like he has John Bryan mixing his albums. Like he wants like the best mixers. And I understand you want the best, to make a masterpiece, but he makes an album almost every year. So it's kind of like, yes, he's fighting a good fight, but it just is just, and he's probably the only artist that can't be heard, but he shouldn't be the one doing all of this, essentially. Well, what he should be doing is just saying, yo, I want Big Sean, Common, and Pusha T to have their masters, and John Legend, my good music artist. I'll fight my fight later. And I think that's why Jay-Z doesn't really push the envelope too much, because I feel that Jay-Z has similar things going on, even with Kanye misquoting it. He said that Jay-Z had to wait 10 years to get his masters back. Jay-Z already cleared that 10 years, and that's why Jay says he has his masters. That's how he got his masters and worked out his deal. So, it's just one of those things where I'm just always like, damn, I always want to like try to like defend Kanye, understand Kanye in some kind of way. But in this situation, in a sense, ethically, he's kind of wrong towards the label, because the label has given him everything he wants and some every single time. And by now he's seen that contract. It's just that now he kind of want to do his own thing, and he's shaking the table, and he's probably going to get what he wants.
So you mentioned the other guys on the label, right? a person like, ironically, I don't mean to kick a dead horse, but Pusha T.
Okay.
Because Pusha T loves bringing up everybody else's contract, right? And he is also the head of Good Music.
He's the president.
He's the president of Good Music. I'm pretty sure if I know how strategic he is, he's all right.
Yeah, Pusha's good.
I think if Good Music didn't do good business, Pusha T would have either left or made a fuss because he's used to it. He been through it with Jive Records.
Jive, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think he would do that
also,
again.
My thing also is that some artists, they just know that it's standard, so they don't complain that much. But the thing is what happens after renegotiations or what you sign initially. Pusha T's best friend is Steven Victor, so Steven Victor's not going to let him get fucked. But I just think that some artists just don't make a complaint because they just like, yo, this is standard. This is how it goes. Like, and they're just okay with that. But then you have some artists that are like, nah, like I need to own my shit. Like, think about how long Joe Budden had to fight. Joe Budden may pump it up. You can call him a one-hit wonder all you want, but every sporting arena you go to, Pump It Up gets played. Mm-hmm. So, I understand why Joe wanted to own his shit. He's like, yo, I got a song that's literally gonna like feed my grandchildren. Pump It Up is going to be played forever. That's like the Black We Will Rock You or some shit. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's just a preference. Like I think some artists want ownership and some artists understand the game. So I think that's why some people don't speak out or they just think they have no other choice or whatever. But yeah, we can wrap that up. I just wanted to say that. Sorry, I'm late, guys.
Nah, it's all good, man. But yeah, we had a great discussion. I feel good about it. We'll wrap it up at that, man. I mean, it is. I do think it's essential for contracts to be shortened. I feel like they add a lot of shit in there that like people just don't catch on to, and then they sign on to it, and also people just aren't having the right people read over these contracts and just signing these people.
The language in the contract itself
is very tricky. Yeah, even I was trying to read Kanye shit, and I'm like, yo, I can't even.
So yeah.
But
it's like pig Latin.
It is. Yeah. Like you read one thing wrong and you're fucked.
Fucked, yup.
In the great words of Combat Jack, the lawyer's best interest is not your best interest. It's not made for you to know it. That's why you didn't go to law school.
Exactly. So we'll leave it at that. I'm First Class Regg.
Hello, Taurian.
And I'm Taurian B.
There you go. And we're out of here.
Yo.